Welcome. I'm Nora Shabazi, the founder of EBLI, Evidence-Based Literacy Instruction, a comprehensive system of instruction that effectively and efficiently teaches anyone to read, write, and spell to their highest potential in whole class or remediation instruction. And in this blog, I'm talking about rules. Phonics rules, syllable types, that type of thing. And how important are they to or not to teach? Are they necessary to for effective and efficient instruction? And my experience has been to never use rules in instruction because it wasn't how I was taught when I learned how to teach reading back in the 90s. So when you think about it, and what really made me think about it was with my own daughter, who was taught a very traditional phonics program with all of the rules and silent letters and long and short and two vowels go walking and magic E and all of that type of thing, which didn't make sense to her at all. The one letter, one sound like CBC words like cat or CBCC words like fast, that was all okay. But when you got to words like team or chief or sleigh, those, she didn't understand what was going on with those. And when you think about it, reading is an auditory system. It's not a visual system. And so we've got to pay attention to what our ears hear our mouth say as far as the sounds in a word, and then match the spellings to the word if we want to be most efficient in our instructional practices. So if you think of things like silent letters, what does that mean to kids? Now, if I were to show them a book or a page or something like this and say, listen, and what are you hearing those letters say? The letters don't say anything. And that seems like a little deal, but it's really kind of a big deal. We do the saying, and these are just symbols to represent the sounds that we're saying, these letters and words. So those distinctions, to make it easier for kids, if something is confusing to adults, to me, I know first of all I can't teach it, and second of all, it's most likely going to be confusing to children too. So I think about also long and short vowels. Like, what does that mean? Do you say one longer? Do you write it shorter? What exactly does that mean? I read years ago that you say long vowels longer and short vowels shorter. So literally I sat in front of the mirror and was saying these sounds. A, 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 A. I'm not saying anything any longer or shorter than the other. I'm just saying a sound. They're just different sounds. And then we've got the schwa thing in there too, which really if you add a sound to it like ba or ka, and you add that sound, but also that's used to kind of explain away when a vowel sound isn't it's long or short, like a like an ad or a like an eight. Like you've got the word, let's say, want. Well, that a, the sound we say for that is ah. What do we call that one? And it's not long or short, right? Is it midget or giant or and we can't explain it away as the schwa because it's not the sound Another one is the word salt. That a represents the sound ah. So we want to think about our instruction. What are we doing and why are we doing it, and how is it helping our kids move forward effectively and efficiently to get to where they can read accurately and automatically and write and spell accurately and automatically. So the rules are not something, again, that we've ever taught. We do talk about patterns and tendencies in words for sure, but not the rules, because some rules, like two vowels go walking, there's more exceptions than there are rules. And also syllable division. We have to kind of make these squares and force words into them, because this is always how it has to be. And there's so many exceptions that when kids go to apply it, either they don't work or the kids get very confused. Like if you look at the word happy, that's a good example. If I were to sing the word happy, that's how we discover where the syllables are. Happy. Well, there's something called open and closed syllables. And if a syllable ends in a vowel, you're supposed to be saying its letter name. So that would be hey, P. So instead of doing that, what they do is they split the P's in half and put one P on one side and one on the other. But if we're going for how we actually speak a word, we don't say hap-P. We don't say the P twice. Those two P's are together to represent one sound P. And we don't say hap. That's not natural at all. Hap. E, so that doesn't work really well either. So if we just really get rid of the rules, it frees up so much instructional time that it's unbelievable. You can probably 10 times faster, maybe even more than that, be able to move somebody to be able to learn to read and write effectively and efficiently, so much less time, which is really what we want to do. So what I ask is that you consider what is this really necessary? And I know for sure that it isn't, because I've taught for almost 25 years without using it. And also another thing that's interesting, a lot of the people that I have taught before knew the rules very well. I'll never forget a man in his 40s, and every time he came to a word, let's say the word was soup, he'd say s. Two vowels go walk, and the first one does talking o, soap. Of course he got the word wrong, but he would say that two vowels go walking, first one does the talking rule literally automatically as he was in the middle of reading, which I thought, that is so interesting. And then it didn't even work. So we want to be really mindful about what we're telling kids, and really mindful that whatever it is that we're telling them or teaching them is easily applicable by them, and that it makes sense to them, right? If it doesn't make sense, then that is not going to be worthwhile for them in their literacy journey. So just some food for thought, and feel free to share comments or ask questions if you have them. And thank you very much for joining in here and for doing your part in this mission of teaching the world to read.